backcountry riding freedom. Like when you get good snow, the whole world becomes a foam pit. You can jump off anything, you can bail off things.
So I know this shouldn't really be the first question to ask you, but when I was watching the snow bike videos and kind of learning about it, I just kept wondering like how did this become a sport?
Just evolution. People have been messing with this stuff since, since 1900s or earlier, since there's been motors. Um, but the last 10, 15, 20 years is when it's actually been good enough to bring to the masses. It's hard to get a snow bike, which is lower powered than a snowmobile, and make the chassis dynamics and everything work so it's actually usable for the majority of people. So the technology is just finally caught up to what the idea is of it, basically.
When did you get into it?
They're very recent. So my first year on them was 2016, and it was actually the first time I rode one because they were always kind of shitty before. They hit the market in like 2010 or maybe just before with this old style kit 2 moto that you couldn't really get anywhere. They were fun on downhills, but as far as like being able to explore the mountain, they just weren't that good. So now with the recent developments in it all and us being able to do our own testing and it's come a long way. So in 2016, when I finally got on one, I was like, all right, this is now good enough where I'm down to sell my sled and go full time on this. And the year after, X Games popped up. They wanted to put snow bikes in, and everything kind of just, right time, right place, and it just all unfolded.
I want to get into kind of the X game stuff a little bit later, but like when you look at it, what is it about the snowback that you like? Like what makes it kind of different from other aspects?
The biggest thing is backcountry riding freedom. It's when you go riding trails on a dirt bike or a mountain bike, you're following someone else's trail. You're following a predetermined route. Snow bikes, snowmobiles, it's a blank canvas out there. It's snowboarding without following a cat track, without following signs. It's absolutely, you want to go to that peak 3 mountains over, just start heading there. And you have absolute freedom to go up, down, sideways, off stuff. Like it doesn't matter. It's just, yeah, it's a foam pit. Like when you get good snow, the whole world becomes a foam pit. You can jump off anything, you can bail off things. It's so much fun just because it's free riding with the safety of, if I mess up, I can jump off and go 100, 150 feet to my back and I'll be good.
Now, but is it one of those things like, right? Like, I think that you obviously take it kind of more to the extreme example, but is it something that, like, man, if I just want to go putt around on this thing, I can do that? Or do you have to have a certain skill level to really kind of maximize?
It's actually something that I prefer to put new people on rather than snowmobiles. So if I'm bringing my girlfriend or some older people or whatever, it's easier as a beginner to get around the mountains on a snow bike than a snowmobile. The trail will be a little bit harder, but once you're in the backcountry dealing with different angles of slopes and stuff, where on a snowmobile you have to kick it up on one ski and hold it on one ski as you're climbing or descending. A snow bike, you're riding across a side slope, you just ride across it. There is no like trying to hold it up on an angle. So all these weird angles on a snowmobile become non-existent on a snow bike. And it's just an amazing experience to go see the backcountry and see the glaciers and go to ice caves and just go explore what's out there. It's crazy how much terrain you can cover.
I mean, the way you describe it makes it sound amazing. Like, that sounds amazing. How
Yeah,
come, but why isn't it more popular?
it's expensive. It's a lot of work. Snowmobiles these days, it's are like vehicles. They're turnkey go. You can ride them, put them away wet, ride them, put them away wet, do that for an entire season and be good. Snow bikes, you're pretty much working on them after every day a little bit. Every second day you're doing oil changes, you're always checking bolts. They're not as refined as a snowmobile because they are still a custom product. You're putting a kit onto a bike. So for general people that want to just buy a toy and go out and ride, it takes more work on a snow bike to keep it all together.
Do you think they'll get that figured out, though? Is that a growing pains thing, or is that just going to be like, nah, that's just how this is going to be?
if we come to a time where there's custom built, purpose built snow bikes and they're running off an assembly line, then yeah, it could definitely be where the snowmobiles are.
Is there any rivalry between the snowbikers and the snowmobilers? Like, because I'm old enough that I kind of remember skiers versus snowboarders, and that was a thing for a while.
I actually like to bring it all back to the snowboard ski rivalry because, especially when it first started, when people didn't see what snow bikes are capable of, that was a huge thing. You know, we always joke that snowmobiles are like quads, they're the quad riders. So there's definitely punches back and forth. But in the end, it's really just if you got a crew of sledders, it's going to be a little weird being the only snow biker, or vice versa. You got a crew of snow bikers, it's going to be weird being the only sledder. So you got a group of friends, you guys all do the same thing. No matter what, you're going to have a great time in the backcountry. It's just different tools for the same job, basically.
Now, you won X Games 3 years in a row?
Correct, yeah, and a bronze the year before that.
I would imagine the first time was amazing, but did you start to feel a lot of pressure the second and the third year?
A little bit. Definitely felt like more pressure, but I don't know. The first year with the bronze gave me so much disappointment because I was actually leading the race and I stalled the bike and I went back in the pack, came back to third. So I was kind of pissed. The next year I had a fire under me and there was no way I was coming home with anything other than first. And once I kind of learned a formula through that year, I used that formula for the years to come and kind of did the same thing, rode the same amount, went to the same events, and was able to come to X Games feeling like the most prepared guy there, which if you can, just do a little bit more than everyone else, it's pretty easy to have the confidence going into it. And then I like playing mind games when I'm there with the guys, but just trying to set myself up to have the most confidence coming into the event and knowing that I did the most work out of the entire field.
What do you mean mind games? You like messing with them or something, or?
Yeah, I pretty much I go, what's the word, cold turkey, or like I shut right off. I don't talk to really anybody, give everyone cold shoulders, and just kind of do my own thing and let them talk and let them start rumors and let them shake a little bit and just let the riding do the talking.
So X Games isn't doing the snow bike competitions right now. Do you still feel like you're the best in the world at it?
It'd be hard to say. There's been people racing the last few years, but as of last year, I guess the National Snowcross Association, which is across the United States, they actually pulled snow bikes out, and they used to have snow bikes at every round. I think now they just have them at like 3 rounds. So kind of everyone's losing practice. I do spend a lot of time in the backcountry riding and busting up, range roads and whooped out trails, which always helps. So yeah, I think if needed be, if we need to go racing again, go back to the program, spend the few months, November, December, January, training and riding. And yeah, I don't see why I can't be on top again. If I know the commitment it takes. Right now I'm riding freestyle motocross and it's a lot of fun, and racing is, you got to sell your soul a little bit for it. So whether I would go back, that's another question. I'm not sure.
When you kind of look at it, do you feel like you generally push yourself more or hold yourself back more?
On the track, I feel like we're hanging it all out. Especially at X Games, you have basically my program starts in September when I'm training for end of January X Games, and that whole 6 months or the entire year before is all adding up to one weekend, one race. There's a heat race and there's a main event. There's no last chance qualifier. There's nothing. So if you don't make it to the main, your year's done. So it's there's not much room to leave anything on the table. You have to try and not crash and be efficient and not get taken out, because a start on snow bikes with everyone going into turn one, everyone's used to being on 6-foot long dirt bikes. Now they're on 10-foot long snow bikes. it gets rowdy. So it's just trying to make it out alive out of turn one, and keep it consistent through the rest of the track. Yeah, it's a, there's mind games. It's kind of like ride at 90, 95%, ride at 100 for a couple laps that you need to.
Because the only thing that I could ever compare it to, right? Like I do mountain biking and I go over like the bunny slopes, right? But there's always these times where like, I know I could do this. I know I could do this. And I just can't get myself to do this. Did you ever struggle with that? Or have you always been just like, man, I just go for it?
Go for it, but with practice and with confidence. You know, bicycles or whatever it is, we've always been building jumps since I was 3 years old, pulling them back a little bit farther, a little bit farther. So it gives you the confidence to come into these things. I don't generally do something unless I know it can be done or unless I know I can do it, or I baby step my way into it. But everyone, and I think that's the same with everyone, it's just what my baseline is versus what someone else's baseline is can be substantially different.
Like, why are you good at it?
I think practice and the amount of different sports that I've done through my life. I've rode professional street bikes, professional dirt bikes. I'm a professional wingsuiter, professional FMX rider, professional snowbike rider, and professional snowmobile rider, among all my other hobby side of sports. So you can start pulling from all these different activities. And when you're constantly learning new sports, whether it's extreme sports or my latest learn is actually golf, which is a insanely frustrating sport to learn. But you start pulling from everything and having all these experiences in your quiver ready to pull from. The corner speed and the precision of street bikes, the gnarliness and the ever-changing track conditions of dirt bikes. I rode bulls for a little bit in high school. You got the burliness of that and being able to just react to a moving animal, you can start pulling from all these sports and adding them into your own style. So I think just being able to do as many things as possible when you're young and growing up through it and always challenging yourself to learn keeps you in the right mindset to be able to push through anything.
Are you ready for some harder / listener submitted questions?
Yeah, let's go.
What is your worst injury and how did you come back from it?
Had a few bad injuries. Nothing crazy though. Plates in the collarbone. I just broke my back, shattered legs, but nothing that had to do any crazy long-term healing. I've always been really good at healing, and lately I've been diving into Chinese medicine, qi, some real crazy things. And for example, my back break, I was riding again in 5 weeks. I was actually wingsuiting again in 3 weeks. And that was a gnarly crash. So, you can learn anything. You can definitely learn how to heal quick.
Walking down the stairs, I'd be worried about my back. Does it linger in your mind, or do you just put it completely aside?
I kind of come to terms with it. Every crash has a different reason for the crash, whether it's your fault, someone else's fault, and those can play. This one wasn't really my fault. Like, I know what I did, but there was also a bit of just random fluke to it. So it's not something that really lingers in my head, that one. If you completely mess something up, then I definitely feel how it can affect the comeback of it. But yeah, it's hard. I know it's hard to come back. Fear is a serious thing, but facing fear every day with the extreme sports, the wingsuiting, where you're facing, base jumping, you're facing death every day. But all those help a guy overcome it, and all we can really change is what's right now. So living in the past, letting those thoughts intrude, it's always just a downhill slope. So yeah, being able to conquer the mind.
As an athlete, was there ever a point where you feel like, okay, I figured this out? Like I unlocked the secret to getting my success? And do you remember what that was?
It comes and goes, for sure. There's a time racing X Games, sponsors were good, money was good, wasn't much problems. All I had to do was hit the gym, work out, race, things are good. X Games goes away, things change. Now we're switching sports. I'm in freestyle motocross full time now. So for sure, there's times of comfort, but that usually doesn't last. Everything changes, everything moves in the world, universe, whatever you want to say. Um, so comfort's a dangerous thing, I think.
I agree with that, right? But it's hard to take risks. I think a lot of people struggle with taking risks.
Yeah, change is good though. I agree. A lot of people do struggle with taking risks because it's easy to be comfortable and taking risks. Um, I mean, any type of risk, whether it's job, personal risk, sports, whatever, it all leads to change in a way, whether it's change in growth or change in injury, or, you might lose your job, but change is good, negative or positive. You're learning lessons either way. Stagnation's not good. So, it can be scary, but usually you look back on any type of risk and the end result, maybe 5, 10 years later, is positive.
What do you feel like is the best place to go snow biking?
I have been quite a few places, including Japan, Chile. Haven't made it over to Russia yet, but North America and BC. I mean, it's really hard to beat British Columbia. I usually could bounce between Whistler, the coast, and interior BC, like Revelstoke area. But basically all of BC and then storm chasing from there. It's just the snow that we usually get, not this year. This year it's terrible, but the snow we usually get is hard to beat anywhere in the world.
Does it change everything? Like, how important is the snow condition, I guess, to the experience to get to the question?
Snow is everything. The more snow you got, the more fun you're gonna have, period. And but it changes. For me, I like jumping. So the more snow I get, the more freedom I have to jump off big things. I can't jump off a 50-foot cliff with barely any snow. I need the snow to create that soft landing. If you're just going to explore, generally it's easier to explore in bad snow conditions with a snow bike than a snowmobile. So I guess it depends on your purpose, but I think everyone would agree the more snow, the better, for sure.
What do you think is the future of the sport?
Few years ago, I would say, racing, X Games, all that. Now it's hard to say. I think the snow bike world needs a purpose-built snow bike and something for everyone to get excited about. We've been bringing new people into the sport, moto guys. It's been good, slowly growing, but it could be a lot better. So I think just innovation is the biggest thing. Innovation in the actual snow bike itself.
Do you think it can survive without a big competition? Like, if there isn't some big competition, can this keep going?
Yeah, I think it can keep going because the racing is good for promotion and stuff, but it's not good for the masses. Most people don't want to buy a bike to go buy a snow bike and build a snow bike to go on a track. It's not what they're built for. They're built for the mountains. So, that's their biggest thing. They like the mountains, they like the fresh powder, and they're really good at backcountry.
So somebody's looking to get into this. Like, what kind of equipment should they be looking at? What should they watch out for?
Someone looking to get into it, I would say go do a guided tour. Snow bikes are expensive to get into. It's you can get into a used bike, but used bikes can be very scary. Anything older, because it's such a new scene, anything older is like tenfold worse. Every year there was such big technolo technical advances in the equipment. So I would say if you're buying a snow bike, spend a little bit extra to get something a little bit newer, and go take a tour. Go take a guided tour, not just a rental, and go see what you really can get into.
Kind of help me get some perspective on this. You're going probably how fast, jumping how far?
The snow bike's 10 feet long. That's the best way to put it. So, that this one's like probably
Holy.
160 feet, 150 feet. Um, these little things are super fun, quarter pipes. The gyro of the track allows you to do these like 180s. Um, Allows you to kick over and spin the bike around and keep it all balanced using the track speed to bring you around.
With the weight of that, do you have to like muscle it the whole way, or can you kind of just get it going and it'll take itself around the curve, so to speak?
Yeah, you kind of initiate it. There's a little bit of, it's like anything. The least efficient you are, the more muscle you'll have to use. But if you can be really efficient with the timing of everything, then it doesn't take much effort, but you have to be very precise. But yeah, it's just set it off the lip, do a little bit of something in the middle air, and hopefully you timed everything right to land back down and not explode. I actually have a video, I think right after this video, where I was doing a quarter pipe and I over rotated one, and you can see me blow off and crash.
How fast are you usually going through there?
Not much, not that fast. Like a lot of those bigger jumps where you're the third or fourth gear, but it's not third or fourth on a dirt bike. It's third or fourth on a snow bike, which is a lot less. I don't really have a speed for you, but we spent a lot of time packing runways and making the transition of the jump very smooth because it's so easy to like G out in something and lose 10 mile an hour. So it's just a constant game of trying to use gravity, trying to use the right curves of the mountain to allow yourself to have as much speed as possible. And generally, if you want to go really big, it's a step down more than a double or a gap.
So it's not like you're going like 100 miles an hour, right? Like,
No.
now, is 160, is that a big jump, or is that kind of like, man, that's Tuesday?
It's big for sure. Uh there's none in this, like that one right there is a big one. One of the bigger ones for a snow bike, but I've done a few that are like to the point where it's testing what a snow bike's ever done. So there's a step down in Whistler by Grizzly Lake. It's like a 150-foot step down. The total vertical distance is probably 80 feet down. And you're looking at this thing. It's a step down. You got to hit it fourth gear to make it over the gap because it's an actual like gap. And the only thought, the first time I hit it, what I was thinking, I'm like, man, a snow bike's never done this. I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, you're landing one ski way down the mountain. Is it going to pop out? Is it going to stick and fold? Is it going to bust in half? Like, I don't know if the forks are going to break off. But in the end, there's only one way to try. And, it doesn't come on the first year. It's come from years and years of sending it bigger and bigger and bigger and getting to the point where, well, we got to go bigger to see if it can go bigger. So it's just kind of what it's evolved to.
You're not just checking the user's manual?
No, yeah, we're writing it.
Okay, when this replays, like when did you realize like, oh crap?
Pretty soon because I knew I was going to over rotate, but with the deep snow, sometimes if you can get your weight, so you can see me shift my weight far to the left, my left,
Yeah, yeah.
for landing, trying to like counteract all that force. But because the back end whipped out a little bit too much, I couldn't hold on to it. Sometimes, if that landing was 3 feet higher, I probably could have stuck it, but yeah, it was just a little bit too much and blew off the side.
So you knew like right like they like, oh crap, from the very
Yeah, pretty
beginning, kind of
much.
like, oh man, I done fucked up.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing? Like what? That's crazy, man.
Innovation.
That's a great answer, by the way. Innovation. That's what I'm doing. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
I like that.
This was in Pemberton, up the Rutherford, right on the glacier. And that was my fourth snowbike base.
Is it really fun, or is it kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna see if I can do this, or would you really be like, no, man, you got to try this. It's great.
I'd love to say you got to try this. It's great, but it takes years and years of both snow bikes and riding and parachuting to combine it all. There's a lot of things that are happening there that can kill you. um, but the feeling, it is amazing. There's riding bikes all my life and then being able to ride bikes off a cliff into a parachute and seeing you know, the GoPro angle of that is insane. When you pop off the lip and you see like 400 feet of air underneath your front fender, it's just kind of like, the hell am I doing here? This is great. Um,
Right.
just it's a perspective that you can't manufacture. You got to go out there and do it. So it's yeah, just taking different passions and merging them all together.
I'm always fascinated by logistics.
Hmm.
Like, did you test the parachute on the snow bike first? Did the snow bike work afterwards?
I don't really have a budget to go like drop it out of a heli and test it. So the first test was just riding it off a cliff. I hung it in my shop off a forklift to see like how it hangs under the parachute, get the right connection points. Um, but besides that, I had the confidence going into the first one to know that I would be okay, but I didn't have the confidence to know that the bike would be okay. Wasn't sure how that was going to go, but the way that it's connected to me, as long as my bike didn't stall or something going off the jump, I knew that I was going to be okay. So that helps, breathe a lot of confidence into the whole situation of it. But yeah, no, you're watching the testing. That is testing right here.
So the one thing, okay, I can only compare it to like mountain biking because that's the only thing that I know about, right? And like in my mind, mountain biking, okay, don't go over the front, right? Like don't go over
Hmm.
the handlebars. Is there something similar with snow biking where like you got to watch this part of it all the time?
For sure. I think the biggest mistake I see from people riding and jumping and learning how to do drops is they kind of treat it like if you're going long on a dirt bike where you land back tire and slap the front tire down. And if you do this off even a 6 foot drop, it'll send you over the handlebars. And it scares people off of jumping because they're like, oh, I can't do it. My bike won't do it. It's like, well, we just got to work on your body position and what you're actually doing in the landing, and we can make you jump these big jumps. It's not hard. It's just we got to change you. The thing with snow bike is you kind of got to land it like a jet ski, where you're like diving in and bombing out. It's like you need it to land front ski first, and then it'll do like it'll go in and out and you'll bounce out of the snow. If you land back or tail first, then what happens is your front slaps down, your ski folds up, and it basically hits the brakes on you, and you go over the bars every time. So it's
Oh man.
it's just, yeah, there's definitely, it's finicky. And it's unnatural to land front ski first, especially into steep slopes. But generally, that's what's needed.
That is kind of interesting, right? There, like it's counterintuitive, at least to me. It's like, no, hit the front part first. Like, wait a minute, I'm not gonna flip over the damn thing.
Yeah, no, it's the opposite of what you think.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is a second gear step down. This is actually right across from
Oh,
the
fuck
snowbike
you.
base you were just watching, which is on the other side of the valley there. That's an old snowboard jump, or not old, but very popular snowboard jump in films and stuff.
It's beautiful out there.
Oh, it's amazing. That's where you can go ride with Jeff Kyle and Pemberton Mountain Moto.
That's pretty much all the questions I got, man. Is there anything that we kind of missed or anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean, the biggest advice through our whole conversation, I would say, is be open to trying new things. And if you're looking at going to do snow bikes, man, go. It's amazing. The snow definitely plays a part in it. So maybe don't go right now in January if you're in BC because it kind of sucks up there right now. But wait a month or so, and it's going to be pretty rad. And get out there and enjoy the outdoors because it's the places snow bikes can take you, and the places just saying yes can take you are quite amazing.